Hi YouTube, this is my coming out part 2, where I talk a little bit more about some of the people in my life that helped me on the coming out journey. I came out and went back in. I came out at 19 and went back in maybe about like when I was 22, 23, and actually I came back out, well actually I came out at 19, went back in at maybe 20, 21, 20 to 22, I was back in the closet because of the church I went to. About 22, I came back out again, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. When I was 19, I came out, and my mom was silent. My dad couldn't shut up, and they interrogated me for about an hour in 4 different rooms of the house. And as later on, as I said to them, if you can't accept it, tough, because I can. I have to go. So I did. What ended up happening also was that I started exploring, quote, not gay life, but just like what it is to be gay, if you will. I knew it wasn't just about sex. Gay people don't make it all about sex. Straight people, straight bigots make it all about sex. So I'm this 19-year-old kid, and it's something that I've never really experienced all, what being gay is like or whatever, so I just kind of loped through it, if you will. Then I met these 2 women, Kitty Lambert Rudd and Cheryl Lambert Rudd. Lambert now, Cheryl Rudd, or at that point Lambert and Rudd, because they weren't able to legally marry. And it changed my whole perspective on why we need marriage for gay and lesbian couples all around this country. She told me about a story of something that happened in her life where 2 women who had been together since they were teenagers, and they lived in Arizona. One was the breadwinner and one was the house homemaker. And one day, the breadwinner is out gardening, and the other woman decides that she's going to go out and get her some lemonade because, it's brutal Arizona heat. And she finds her, she's going, there's no way she's going to survive. So what happens is she rushes her partner to the hospital. They get to the hospital. The doctor says, this is it, call her family. Well, the partner can't be listed as the next of kin because they can't legally marry, and there's no relationship recognition in their state. So what ends up happening is she calls in the family. The family bars her from her partner's bedside. They have not seen her in 70 years. They disowned her. And the partner cannot go in, even though she spent the last 67 years with her partner. And this happens more often than you think. In India, there was a young man who similarly lost his partner and went through the same thing. She's barred from the house too. She gets home, her stuff is out in garbage bags. They take the car from her. They say, this belonged to my aunt or my this or that, and you can't have it because you're not married. They bar her from the funeral proceedings. Same thing with the young man with the young man I mentioned earlier. His family was from Indiana, and they did the same thing to that young man. And they, in the young man's case, the father threatened violence if he showed up. Similarly with the lesbian couple, the homemaker woman, she's sitting there on the corner with garbage bags, all her belongings in garbage bags, locked out of her house. They changed the locks on her, and she has no car. She has no money. She has no way of surviving. And when she finally goes to see her partner for the last time, she cries on her headstone. I don't think, surely a bigot would say, that's sad, but they would be the ones perpetrating it. And that's a sad reality. This is the reality that Kitty Lambert, now Lambert Rudd, and Cheryl Rudd, now Cheryl Lambert Rudd, opened my eyes to. I thought that it was good that gays can't get married, therefore we don't have to divorce. But there's so many legal protections that I had no idea that we were missing out on. So, for a while, we hang out, we get to know them. There's a long time we get to know them and things. And at one time I was homeless and I was in a shelter, and I started listening to a lot of the evangelists and everything there, and one of them said he used to be a prostitute in the gay lifestyle and he's no longer that. And then I thought, you know what, if he could do it, I could do it too. So I renounced it, and it still grew in me, but I was trying so hard to fight it. And it was really terrible for Grandma Kitty, I called them the grandmas, to watch me through that, because she had to struggle with that herself, with her Mormon background. And for me, Baptist and Pentecostal, oh goodness, that's just great. Even the one Pentecostal church I went to, they actually had a resolution to discourage their people from going to same-sex weddings, which was crazy. And I said, there's no way, I can't do that. If I have a friend and they're going to get married, I'm going to go. And when I finally did go to a wedding, the pastor asked my youth leader if it was a man and a woman that got married. So that was really like, what? So that was the church that I went to after I kind of disconnected from the grandmas. And then I was there for about 3 years. And then like maybe this second year, or maybe the third year, I was there for 4 years. I started drifting away after 3 because the thing was, so I kind of had to come out again because I was under the radar with dealing with guys, or even just hanging out with other gay friends. I was kind of under the radar with that. And then I was hanging out with a guy at work, and we would like text each other during work on the IMs, because it was boring in the middle of between calls, because I worked at a call center at the time, and somebody thought that we were dating. And I hung out with my youth leader and another friend. We were basically like the Three Musketeers there, the brotherhood, if you will. Somebody thought that I was dating this guy, and they thought that I was preaching a revival, which my friend was, not me. I was in a gospel play. And later on, I left the gospel play over my stand on marriage equality. Then I went back home, and me and my lovey, we had a good time. So that doesn't matter. That's no matter right now. But that was the world I was involved in, and I had to step down from any ministries that I'd been in, which really bruised me a lot. And then Daryl challenged me to not be a part of a group that would simply just throw me away like that. So I said, you know what, bye. I refused to keep on hearing about homosexuality being the worst thing you could ever be in the world. So I left that church. One Wednesday I didn't go to Bible study. The next Sunday I didn't go at all. Then I never went back again. And then I got reconnected with the grandmas again. They were working on marriage equality. 2010 election was crazy in New York. Oh my goodness, and it's going to be rolling around this year for our Senate and Assembly. It's going to be crazy, but it's going to be good. I'm hoping George Macias gets his lard ass up off of that seat, and Amy Witriol can, put hers in it, because she's really good. She came within 4 points on one line. George Macias had the other 4. So people are tired of them. So I reconnected later on in 2010. She thought I was a spy for the evangelical churches. I was not. I assured her I was not. And I was saying that, it's not something that I have to pray away or to cure. There's nothing to cure. And after the test of time proving that I was, wasn't somebody who was going to simply spy for the people that was opposed to her, because she'd been harassed a lot at the time, and I was kind of coming back in on the scene in the midst of that. And she was guarded, as she should very well have been. I don't blame her for being such. So I got reconnected with her, and I've started fighting for marriage equality here. We finally got it June 24, 2011. And that pride, I had my phone, and I was saying, I want to marry this guy, Daryl. And I was in newspapers, I was on TV, Grandma Kitty was on TV, so many people were on TV, with press conferences, and 2, 4, and 7, they all had us there. And it was really cool because now, when I gave an interview for got an interview for YNN, Grandma Kitty set that up. But it was really cool because after I started studying all of the legal reasons that we should have marriage equality, it really just made sense that this is an issue that we need. And after hearing about stuff that happens in different states because of no relationship recognition, it just made sense to me. And as a black man, I don't know how anyone can say that civil rights aren't, that marriage is not a civil right, because it is necessary for the orderly pursuit of happiness. And only free people can do such. And if we really are free, then we need to be able to marry. So that's a right that we currently have in our state constitution and in the federal constitution. Just because it is not recognized does not mean that it is not our right. So it was a lot of struggle. It was something that I would not wish on anyone. I think that someone's gay, that I know and really love dearly, and I pray that he's not. Why? Because I don't want him to go through any of the things that I had to go through. But he won't. If he is, he won't be. Because I'll be there for him. I'll be there to help him make sense of what's going on and what he's feeling and what to do. I'll be there to help him. And I pray that he's not gay, though. Really, I really do. Because it's just so much easier to be straight. I mean, 50 states you're traveling throughout this whole country, you're not going to be forcibly divorced later. So that's one of the things. But there are so many other things that reasons why, like, I would just say no, don't be. But he can't choose. She can't choose. We can't choose. We don't. It's just how we are. That's how it is. And even if they found a biological explanation, it wouldn't satisfy the bigots, and I won't care. I don't care if it does or not. But the fact is that that's my coming out story. My family, they're good with it. I'm just me. That's how I am with them. And they love Daryl. They love him because he's a part of the family now. And it's been 4 years, actually. And the first time I introduced them to him and him to them, it was really awkward because it was like, what? But it's really cool that it's almost like a quilt. All the sorrow, all the guilt, all the everything. Even the dark patterns have been able to weave themselves beautifully and integrate themselves into the whole picture. So this is the second part of my coming out story, and the final, but there will be other details weaved in other videos as I do them. But I really hope that if you want to share your coming out story, please do it as a response video, whatever. Share your coming out story. Some of them may be tragic, some of them may not be, but it's yours. And that's all that matters to me. So you have a great day, and thank you for watching. This is FitHead 85.